She's a representative of the Fulton Houses Independent Tenant Association and a leader in the fight there to stop RAD, privatization, and the demolition of Fulton buildings. She has lived at Fulton Houses for 40 years. Please, please receive her.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Holmes. Thank you, Holmes, for providing us with this platform. And I'm not a good speaker. I'm probably going to jump around all over the place. Please forgive me. But I do want to make a couple of really important points. Fulton Houses is in downtown Manhattan, Chelsea. Wasn't called Chelsea when it was, well, it was called Chelsea, but it wasn't the Chelsea we know now. Nobody wanted to go down there during those days. And they built these projects in 1964, which would make it one of the newer projects, okay? The conditions in those projects aren't as dilapidated as some of our neighboring projects that are really, really suffering, okay? But we do need repairs. And just like most projects, if you've noticed, they've stopped making repairs. They've slowed down with repairs. A lot of the staff that's doing the repairs doesn't have the proper training or the proper materials. Sometimes it's not them, they don't have the proper materials. The other thing, the supervision and the inspections that used to happen way back in the days, remember that? They would do a job, they sometimes would come and spot check it. They don't do that anymore, okay? Because of that, two dynamics happen. We have a lot of leaks. It's not just the roofs. It's the roofs, but it's also what they call the wet walls, like where the shower is, where the bathroom is. Why do we have all these leaks and all these people? It's leakings behind the walls often, okay? Or they didn't grout properly. Because even if you have a water leak in an apartment, if you grout it properly and somebody catches it, there's not going to be an extreme problem, okay? But we have work that was done improperly or poorly or wasn't inspected, okay, including when they would renovate the cabinets and put in new surround tubs. If you look at the surround tubs, usually there's a lot of mold behind them. Again, it's the same dynamics, okay? They think people are dumb in the projects. Everybody, even if they never worked with buildings, will tell you something's wrong. Okay, the things weren't done right. There's too much mold. There's too much peeling paint. Okay, that just doesn't happen because it's getting old. It happens because of neglect. It also presents us with the question: was this partially done intentionally? Okay, because they to their benefit, and I'm talking about the mayor and all the way up to the president, to Cheeto Man, okay, that is pushing this RAD 2.0, okay? The mayor, this progressive, supposedly progressive mayor, okay, that's important, just that line, the supposedly progressive mayor wants to destroy public housing as we know it, okay? Because the word public housing is contrary to privatization, okay? He's come up with a plan by saying, wait a minute, no, it's still NYCHA because the land still belongs to NYCHA. He must think we got stupid written all over us, okay? So what he wants to do is send in managers that are public management. Public managers are experts in getting people out of buildings, okay? Nearly every New Yorker, I don't have to school New Yorkers on that. We know about that. We've seen it happen in Manhattan. We've seen it happen in the Bronx. We've seen what has happened in our communities, okay? We are holdouts in these communities, and they damn well know it, okay? We are generation after generation of people that didn't leave New York, that stayed in New York, okay, that helped these projects, that went to meetings, that organized tenant walks, or worked with the youth, or worked with each other, worked at building a neighborhood, and we built it. They want to take these neighborhoods away from us, okay? They think that we don't realize what our strength is, but we got strength, because in reality, if all of NYCHA goes out into the street and stops traffic, we'll shut the damn city down, okay? And I'm not saying that's what we have to do right now. But that doesn't mean, thank you. That doesn't mean we won't go there. Okay? We're down in Fulton, in Chelsea, in 9th Avenue, on 14th Street. We lock that down, there's gonna be trouble. Okay? Also, for the people in projects that are maybe starting this fight or don't think it's going to happen in their development, please don't sleep on that. In February, we were told, when we asked people from NYCHA, representatives from NYCHA, when they were talking about RAD 2.0, we asked them, oh, is Fulton in line for that? Because obviously that would have alarmed us. You got nothing to worry about. You're not. 3 months later, boom, we find out that we're in line for RAD, and they hadn't even dialogued with us. So that's a real important point. There's no community participation. We don't count. Okay, we don't count in this level at all. We are faceless to them. We're not people. We don't have power, and we don't have a voice, and they're sadly mistaken, okay? The people in the project have produced amazing people, not wealth. We don't come from families of old, big-time money, most of us, okay? We're living paycheck to paycheck, retirement check, or Social Security, or public, some type of check. That last check goes, and we're trying to stretch a little bit of money for the next, okay? Our idea of a good time is hanging out with our neighbors, playing some dominoes or talking or doing the line dance, in front of our building. Try doing that when they privatize, okay? In the buildings that they built in Joyce, where was it? In Ocean Bay, okay? They were taking people, they were busing people from Fulton down there so they could see this beautiful work that was done in these apartments, okay? Well, those buses were almost empty. Most of the people didn't go, okay? But I will tell you something. I wouldn't knock people going. Go see. But keep this in mind. I could rehab anything, and it's going to look nice, okay? But what happens 2 years, 3 years, 4 years down the road? And aren't you owed those damn repairs? Didn't you pay your rent? Just like anybody in the city, if you pay your rent, you have to get your services. If it was any other landowner, they all be in court and being sued, okay? So they're taking advantage of all this, and they also, I don't know what they think. They must think we're like asleep or something. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of losing myself on this, but one of the things that I also wanted to mention is that we have to keep reaching out to organizations that are making reports and newspapers and journalists that are pushing what we're saying forward, as opposed to a blurb that's being said in the news. by the mayor or his cronies, okay? And I'm saying this because I'm looking out, and I know that most of the people here could probably remember the 60s and the 70s and how journalists, reporters were really important. Not just reporters, okay, but investigative journalists, reporters. I wish we had a good bunch of them so they could go in and really investigate NYCHA, audit NYCHA. Okay? It's because they keep blaming workers in NYCHA, and it's not them. A lot of them actually live in public houses. Okay? A lot of the groundkeepers live in public housing. So if this privatization happens, there's going to be a lot of unemployed folks in NYCHA, because not only do they take over, they bring in their own people. Okay? So we're talking about the livelihoods of a lot of people that are working in NYCHA. So again, I'm bouncing back and forth, and I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. I just want to. So, time's up. Sorry, I could have kept going. Just last thing. This is coming from the mayor. Okay? And in our projects, they want to demo these buildings that don't need to be demoed. Okay, what we need is an audit of the repairs, what's really needed, and to find out why the warranties weren't issued, and to tell the mayor and the governor to release funds for public housing, because part of the revenue of New York City we've put in there. Okay? So, thank you.